You're listening to Podketeers.
Welcome to episode 457 of Podketeers. This week we talk about Bob Iger commenting on the future of the MCU and also park ticket prices. Toontown reopens with a new character. Indiana Jones also reopens with many enhancements. Improvements we'd like to see in Disney Dreamlight Valley, including a potential Easter egg that's been there since the beginning of the game. Plus, we continue our Disney history series, Great Moments with Mr. Andrew. We'd love for you to join the conversation on our social networks, including Instagram and Facebook, but we invite you to join us on our Discord server. Joining the community is super simple. Just head on over to podketeers.com/links and click on the Discord button to join the community. A very special thank you goes out to an awesome group of listeners known as the FGP Squad, our podcast Fairy Godparents, because it's their support via Patreon that help make these episodes of Podketeers possible. As part of the FGP Squad family, you get some additional perks like exclusive discount codes for Podketeers gear, additional content like the Podketeers After Show, and access to our happy hour calls, just to name a few. For more information on how you can become part of the FGP Squad family, we invite you to check out podketeers.com/FGP. And as always, a super special thank you goes out to the FGP Squad for their continued support. So that's going to round out the intro. It's time to get this episode started. If this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome. We hope that you enjoy the episode and that you come back for more. But of course, if you've been hanging with us for a while now, welcome back, friends. Here is episode 457 of Podketeers. Oh yeah, John Bravo.
I don't know.
I got nothing.
It's that I want to call it false energy when you know you have to push through something, but you're just like extremely tired. That's kind of the level that I'm at right now. Like I got to push through. We're gonna get this done, and then I'm gonna have some nachos and then edit. How have you been? How's the rain treating both of you? Has it hit you, Andrew? Is it snowing, raining? What's happening up there?
It was like a monsoon out there for about a minute and a half earlier today. That we're in a wind advisory. So that's fun. It's been getting very windy. The rain is on and off where I am. But I see all the signs for the mountains, carry chains, unsettled weather. They're supposed to get another 2 to 4 feet of snow in the next week. So, yeah, we'll see. It's wasn't too bad of a day today other than this evening when I was coming home. It was just a torrential downpour for about a minute and a half. But then it was okay. So it's not been horrendous, but I anticipate that changing fairly soon.
Ooh. Mel, how's it been for you down there?
No grapple yet. Just kidding.
Oh man.
No, it's just been raining and cold, and I love the rain, but it's annoying. It's like, okay, we've had a couple of storms. We're not used to all the storms. We had a little bit of sunshine. It's like, yay. And then it went away. So I'm a little annoyed.
Yeah,
Too much.
I would be too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the rain. I used to like it a lot, when I was younger. I went through a phase of forgetting how much I liked it because I always liked sitting by a window, listening to the rain with a nice cup of coffee or reading a book or something. And I'm one of those people. And then I just went through this era. If you know me close enough, you know exactly why I hated the rain. But, I went through this phase of not liking it as much. And now I'm back, baby. I'm back. I love the rain again. However, I've been stuck working all day, so I haven't had a go sit at the window and drink some coffee moment. But, it's supposed to rain for the next several days, so I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get my opportunity to do that. But, there's still stuff happening. we opened up Toontown. I'm saying we like I was there and stuff, right? But
Yeah.
Toontown reopened, Indiana Jones reopened. So changes happening at Disneyland. We're going to get to those a little later in the episode. I'm going to keep it short, but listen. Look, I love when all the worlds I love collide. And one thing that I've recently been playing again is I went back to playing the original Kingdom Hearts. And it's been years since I've gone through the game. So because I feel like I don't remember a lot of it, it's been great because I'm getting to relive the game again almost for the first time because some stuff is very familiar to me. But I'm really enjoying like going through the playthrough again. And it's ironic that on the week that I start playing Kingdom Hearts on Reddit, somebody posted something. This went up in our group chat, and I damn near lost it. So please talk a little bit about this Reddit post.
Yeah, I just happened to see a Reddit post come over, and it says Kingdom Hearts Easter egg in Dreamlight Valley. The post reads, I was playing the other day and noticed a shadow from Minnie's roof that looks just like the hearts from Kingdom Hearts loading screen. So I stopped and turned around, and lo and behold, the hearts on her roof look identical. I asked someone else, they agreed. What do you guys think? And then there's a picture, and yeah, I mean, it's pretty unmistakable. These two kind of curly Q kind of things making a heart. It doesn't have a little crown on top, but still that heart is it's there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's trippy how we've been playing this since when, and we didn't realize this? How? I don't know how we missed this.
Yeah, it's funny because it's a weather vane on Minnie's house, right?
Yeah.
But the image that you sent, Andrew, from this Reddit post, it's a shadow that's being cast, on the ground, and you can clearly see this heart. It's very distinct because you don't see the detail of anything else surrounding it in the shadow. So, obviously, when you overlay it, like you said, it looks pretty identical to the Kingdom Hearts logo, minus the crown. But I guess the crown would make it super obvious, right? So really, the only thing that comes out of this post is Kingdom Hearts at Disney Dreamlight Valley confirmed.
Yep, totally.
Eventually.
It's coming. Atlantis confirmed. Kingdom Hearts confirmed. Listen, I think, the thing about Dreamlight Valley right now for me is, I'm pretty sure that both of you are in this, is that I've gotten to the point where now in both games that I've been playing, I have pretty much completed everything. Yep. The first game that I started playing, I haven't finished yet because I've been reserving time, or I need to reserve some time in order to record the Olaf quest with the blizzard that's happening up in Frosted Heights. And what's the other thing that comes as part of that? There's like two... and Mirabelle. I haven't done Mirabelle on my original account either. I haven't gotten Mirabelle's character or placed Casita anywhere, so there's a couple of new things that I haven't done yet. But in the meantime, I've been continuing the pumpkin thing. Remember I told you I was going to try to fill up 3 rooms, and then one of the videos I was going to do was redeeming all of these, selling all of those pumpkins to Goofy, non-puff style, just pumpkins. Well, I finally filled up all 3 rooms.
Whoa.
So I'm ready to finally make that video. It's going to be great because I feel like I'm going to gain a lot of performance because I'm not going to have 1,000 pumpkins that it has to keep track of going forward anymore. So I'm looking forward to that. So that video is going to be coming soon. I'm going to try to get the Mirabelle one done, the Olaf one done. But I finally hit that wall in the game where there's just not that much to do anymore. Which is why I jumped to Kingdom Hearts, and I've been playing some other stuff recently. The biggest plan I have now is finally getting to a point where once the pumpkins are done and I have everything open, I'll be able to finally go in and do some of the streams that we wanted to do either on Discord or something where we kind of plan out what we want the areas in the valley to look like, and hopefully we have some user input and feedback to just kind of dress up the valley to something that I think would look nice. I think it would be a fun community style project. So man, those pumpkins, dude, I'm so glad I've gotten to a point where I can finally stop planting 1,000 pumpkins and it'll be good. I'm curious to see how the game is going to handle that once I sell them all to Goofy. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, Kingdom Hearts, I think that would be great. I think the same way that we have alternate costumes for Mickey and Minnie, like the Disney 100 ones, I think it'd be super cool if Goofy and Donald could have their Kingdom Hearts outfits as part of, a quest or something that you could do, and you could switch them into those. If Sora comes to the valley, having your character be able to wield a Keyblade or something like that, even if it doesn't do anything, I just think the idea of wielding the Keyblade would be something cool. The possibilities are endless. I wish I knew the stuff that Gameloft had planned, but at the same time, I don't want to know because I want to be surprised when they release it. But I want to know because I love the game. But I don't want to know because I want to be surprised. So, circle of life. And it never ends. So, yeah. How long ago did both of you stop playing? I haven't seen either of you pop into, or maybe we're not playing at the same time. So I'm still playing at 3 o'clock in the morning. So, when are y'all playing?
I actually just played today.
Oh, good. Okay.
I play about
11
p.m. is where usually when I play. 11 p.m. right before I go to bed. So yeah, it's kind of just I want to make sure I get that daily Kristoff whatever he's got in his stall thing. I don't want to miss out on some iron or whatever. So
and your moonstones.
And I always forget about the moonstones. I forget if they're not in. And I've also been trying to complete those Dreamlight tasks, feeding all the different critters and everything. That's what I'm working on now. I have, and also just getting all of them. I don't have all of. There's like one critter in each group that is like the rare one or something, and I'm never around when like the calico rabbit or the white squirrel is around. I don't think I've ever seen these, so they're still not my friend or whatever. I don't have them acquired yet. So still working on those, but that's pretty much, I spent about 20 minutes on it before bed, just gathering things, feeding critters, going into the Scrooge's store. And because I didn't start buying all of the Scrooge stuff until a little later than you guys did, I still have like some clothing items to buy. You guys are already sold out of clothes, right?
Yeah,
No, not
I don't
really.
think I'm getting any clothes anymore. I'm getting just like furniture items, but I went crazy, like buying, like I would empty Scrooge's store like every day.
Same.
Well, that's what I've been doing. I've been buying every single clothing item because you can get duplicates of furniture, but you can't get duplicates of clothes. So if it's in there, you're not going to have it. So my windows have been empty, but all the other things are, I still have stuff on those. I think I have about 100 more items total to complete whatever it says are listed, but some of those items, as we know, are in the premium shop, so I won't be able to attain that goal.
That's the one that bugs me, man. The whole like wanting to 100% the game before was so attainable at one point, and now with the premium shop having stuff that you won't be able to get any other way, it just it bothers me now that I'm not going to be able to 100% the game.
They should just have that, like, those in like a different section or something, so you can still complete that. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. They got to make their money somehow, because the game in theory is going to be free whenever it comes out, supposedly this year for free, but who knows? There's been no movement on that front as far as I can tell.
That's very true.
Yeah, they just want everyone to pay, so pretty much it. But if you get it for free, you kind of like get screwed because you don't get the moonstones. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's like, just keep it the way it is. I guess. Unless you
Yeah.
want to get some people upset.
Like the original, like the Founders Pack stuff, obviously, they said that it was going to be exclusive to Founders Pack. So if you got it as part of the Founders Pack, then cool, you have it. I would be upset if I saw it pop up in the Moonstone shop, later on. But stuff like this week, I think they brought back the castle that you can buy as a skin for your house, which people were happy with because not a lot of people wanted it, but didn't know that it was there, and they didn't have enough moonstones or whatever the case was. So if they're going to be cycling stuff, that's okay, but we're like 2 weeks in and they already cycled something, so that is concerning. But also the pricing model that they have right now. It's like I don't remember if it made it into the podcast last week, but $5 for like a shirt or like 2 frames for your house is ridiculous. Like it's like I understand you want to make your money, but that pricing model is absolutely ridiculous. Like you got to lower the prices. If you lower the prices, more people will buy your stuff and you have the potential of making more money. So the fact that they're doing this, like, I don't understand it. It blows my mind sometimes. And maybe it was on purpose. Maybe they were testing the waters to see if people would actually pay it. And then they're going to be like, oh, just kidding. It's really going to be like 800 moonstones for this. And they were like, oh, wow, that's great. 1,500 was way too much. And then people will be happy where they end up, where it was possibly where they intended to be the whole time. It's just a marketing tactic. I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah, we are in the we are like the beta testers or the, whatever, not really beta. It's, working, but we are testing this game. It's not in open release. You have to pay to be a guinea pig. So it could be, like you just said, that they're trying to figure out what pricing model works best for this. And I based on the other Gameloft game I've played before, Disney Magic Kingdom, that game seems to listen to community like outcry a lot. So, and it's from the same developer. So I wonder if they heard a lot of people say, "Man, I wish I would have had that castle. I missed it," and put it back up. Is a possibility. Also, just voice your opinion to them on Instagram, on Twitter, send them an email. They, at least on the other game, they seem to be pretty responsive on making changes somewhat. It would take a bit, but changes would happen in that game. But then stuff there'd be like lots of big changes that people would not like that they stayed. So who knows? Like stuff just happens, but it's as long as you don't have that urge to be 100% and get all the moonstone things, you should be pretty good. You shouldn't have to spend any more money on the game than what you already have. I'm using my moonstones sparingly.
Well, talking about moonstones, I did purchase something for 800 moonstones. But I just recently went back to the Star Path, and you know how you have like opportunities to get moonstones. Yeah. So I finally cashed in on all of them. I actually ended up getting my moonstones back and more. So you don't have to pay for these things. And knowing that they repeat, don't spend your money. Just do the Star Paths, get your moonstones, spend them on that. There you go, people.
Right, because when you complete it at the end, it tells you whatever you have left, you can cash them back in for moonstones, right?
Basically, yeah. So there's a set amount of like whatever points you can get for a Star Path. And so you can like buy everything up, and then the last one is like you can get chunks. It's like 10 points for whatever amount of moonstones, and that's the thing you just spend until it's out. So I completed that Star Path I don't know, probably 2 weeks ago now, just because that was the only thing to do in the game.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot of it's pretty easy. The hardest one is there's make one of them for me. I'm assuming they'll probably be all the same. Is make the red black and yellow balloon arch.
Oh,
And
yeah.
So if you haven't got to that yet, if you're listening, you haven't got to that yet, start collecting those. Like go into your, the workbench and see what you need to craft the red, yellow, and black balloon arch. That's like 20 of 3 kinds of flowers.
Yeah, it's the black lily. It's the black lily from Frosted Heights, the yellow and the red nostrium from Forgotten Lands. Yeah. So start collecting those now if you haven't gotten to that portion of the star path yet, because I think it took me a week and a half, 2 weeks to get, and what I would do is just pick every flower in the biome to make sure that they then would regrow and maybe have a chance of getting a couple more colors.
That's the way to do it.
Just picking the yellow and the red that you see.
Man. Okay, so we're going to toss out another idea for Game Loft. You know how we have Kristoff's stall? When, Daisy makes her way into the game, or maybe you could do it with Minnie or somebody. Have them have their own stall with flowers. You know, like in a lot of the cartoons and stuff that they have, like they have flowers all the time. So it could be, and it doesn't have to be those characters. It could be any character, to be honest.
What's Isabella from
Encanto?
Or Isabella,
right?
Yeah.
Flower. She's the flower one, right?
Yeah.
I didn't get that mixed up.
Inside one of Casita's rooms, you buy flowers from Isabella. That's a great idea, Andrew.
Look at me.
Oh, man. There you go.
Awesome.
So Game Loft, you got another idea. Yeah, I mean, look, if we're making all these coins, they gotta be good for something, right? And so,
right,
even the Moonstone stuff, I feel like if they didn't make it Moonstone related, like you can have the Moonstone currency, right? And I know that they give you the 50 every day or whatever the case is, but let's say if somebody wanted the castle. Make the castle available with regular coins, but make it some obscene amount, like 1 million coins, right? Because then stuff like daily grinding pumpkins is actually worth it, because then you can strive for these other things that, if you want to just kind of shortcut it and you want to pay your $5 and get your castle or, your Art Deco Disney 100 posters or whatever, great. Right? But at least all the pumpkin grinding and all the other stuff that we do for regular coins could be used for something else in the game. So there's a couple of really great ideas, Game Loft. Use them, please. Use them. You don't even have to give us credit. Just use them, please. Make our lives easier. Give us the warm and fuzzies with all those pumpkins. Especially since I can't make multiple pumpkin puffs.
They could also give us a Disneyland castle. I'll give you Moonstones.
Well, wait, I mean, I'm sure there's stuff coming when the parks.
I know. I hope so.
Path comes. I hope there's good stuff in the parks path. I'm gonna be disappointed if it's a
jersey,
Spirit jersey.
Gosh, no.
Yeah,
I want Space Mountain. Come on,
right?
I'd be the same. I'd love Space Mountain in Dreamlight Valley. The E.P. Ripley just going around the island.
Give me some in-park trash cans.
Oh, that would be cool.
That would be awesome.
And if you want to get rid of stuff, dang, look at us.
Man, you could have Push just rolling around Dreamlight Valley talking to Wally.
Yeah.
Falling down all the stairs.
All right, well that's it. I said I don't want to make this a long Dreamlight Valley talk, and we're
oops,
too far in, yeah. But look, I like the game. I mean, it's just there's not a lot to do right now. So Dreamloft, please use our ideas, make it exciting again for us. Hey, but this actually reminds me of an interesting thing that came up this last week, because we were talking about how Gameloft listens to the community, and they make a lot of changes. Bob Iger was talking a little bit about a couple things that I want to bring up. One was Marvel, and the other was the park and the prices. So I want to start with Marvel. He said that, well, actually, Andrew, I know that you were talking about this earlier. Do you have the quote up, or do you remember what Bob Iger said?
Yeah, sure. I can read it. I have it up right here in my 8 jillion tabs. So Bob Iger, I believe this was in an interview somewhere, a CNBC possibly, said, there's nothing in any way inherently off in the terms of the Marvel brand. I think we just have to look at what characters and stories we're mining. And you look at the trajectory of Marvel over the next few years, you'll see a lot of newness. We're going to turn back to the Avengers franchise, but with a whole different set of Avengers. And that's all he said.
I don't... Listen, I don't know where to start on this one. Because Look, Bobby, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but we've been on this trajectory towards the new Avengers. So, I mean, I know I'm not sure where this comment is coming from, because this is exactly what we've been setting up with, all the Disney Plus shows. We have Wiccan and Speed ready to go. We have Miss Marvel ready to go. Kate's version of Hawkeye ready to go. So I mean, there's been all this foundation that we've been setting up through Disney Plus since Disney Plus's inception. So I'm not exactly sure what he means by that or where that's coming from, because that's where we've been going.
Right? For how many years? How many phases?
Right?
I don't know. Yeah. When you sent us this, it's just like, Bobby, where have you been?
Well, he's not been running the company. That's where he's been.
Yeah, that's true.
He's been dealing with what was that? What was the food delivery thing or whatever? I don't remember. We talked about it on the podcast before, but I forgot. It was
it's
like
late. We forget.
Oh, yeah. I forgot what it was called.
Puff or poop or
that's right.
stuff or puff. Was it
Galoofy or Gafoofy or
Goop?
Yeah,
no,
that's it.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
that's
like
Gwyneth
that.
Paltrow.
I get emails from him every once in a while. I don't remember what it's called.
Go Puff.
Go Puff.
Oh, okay.
Go Puff. Yeah.
He was dealing with Go Puff or whatever.
He was.
I don't know.
I almost said Stay Puff.
I thought of the one thing that I didn't think would ever harm me. That's for all you Ghostbusters out there. But anyway, yeah. I mean, he's also just like an old man. Like he's like a 70-something-year-old man. So, maybe he doesn't remember what he said before, or he forgot.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
He's an old guy. Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
He's got a lot of stuff on his plate right now, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So who knows? It's one of those interview things where I'm sure if I watched the entire thing, it would have more context, but this is just written in an article. So he could have been asked a question about how he feels Marvel is refreshing its brand or blah blah. I don't know. Who knows? There's probably more context to the quote, but I'm lazy and I don't want to look it up. So we'll just go off the initial quote and we'll speculate from there. But it does, he also he didn't. The Disney Plus also pulled like the release dates from the couple of Disney Plus Marvel shows. So it's just interesting that there's been a lot of Marvel news, like somewhat news. It's kind of just weird news going on in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I mean, this is all... I don't know if this is a cause and effect thing. And this is really weird, right? Because, recently James Gunn took over the DCEU, and there was a lot of hope about him kind of reviving it and saving it, because it just wasn't what a lot of people expected for a really long time, right? And so I'm not sure if this is... Okay, so there's another thing that I've heard people say, and I wanted to ask you both about it as well. Do you think we've reached the point where people are experiencing superhero fatigue in films?
Could be. It could be because how we're seeing movies like, Ant-Man and the Wasp for Quantumania, it didn't do too well. It's not the same stories, and I think we're just getting tired of the repetitiveness. And yeah, there's sequels. I think in general, people don't want to see sequels anymore. We want to see original stuff. And I get that too. Not saying it's the same as like reboots or live action, but it kind of feels, it could feel for others like it's the same stuff. And people just want to see new things. So I could see where that comment is coming from. Would we like to see new stuff? Oh, of course. Of course. New stories are exciting. So.
Yeah, it's interesting because to some of the points you made there, Mel, I think they feel like, well, we've got burned before. There's this kind of cycle that like Disney, I mean, every company goes through. They go, okay, we've done so many sequels. We're going to do some new stuff. We're on the bleeding edge. We're gonna do whatever. Okay, here we go. Here's the what's the one that with the Angelina Jolie and stuff?
Eternals?
Yeah. Here's the Eternals. Here's a new thing. We're gonna make it, and okay, and then it flops real hard and it's bad. And then they get scared, and then they go, okay, well, here's Doctor Strange 2 and Ant-Man 11 and stuff like that. It's happening with Pixar, too. Pixar goes, all right, here's a bunch of new, ideas. Here's Soul, and here's Turning Red, and they all do not so great. And so they go, okay, Toy Story 5 and Inside Out 2 and all these things where they know that these brands are successful for them, and even if they don't give like the best story, there's some inherent nostalgia built in that there's a built-in audience that is going to see these no matter what. And now that's kind of the same thing with Marvel as well. There is a built-in audience that is going to see these movies no matter what. But those audiences aren't enough to break even when these movies are costing, $300 million to make. They can't sustain the model because they're making these movies, $300 million. Every single one of them has to make $1 billion for them to see it as profitable. And they're taking these gambles of this is going to be profitable. Is this going to be profitable or not? We think so. So we're going to spend the money and because we're Marvel. So that's kind of all of Hollywood, I think, in movie making is they're doing the same thing. We saw it in DC with Black Adam and I don't even know, the Suicide Squad, all these different things where they were big budget movies. They put big stars in them, and then they were just kind of didn't do very well. Making a movie's a gamble, and to the point that was asked, I'm sure there is a little bit of fatigue going on with general audiences. There is the diehard Marvel people that will see anything that Marvel releases. So it's there, that audience there. But to the general public, you have to make something that is appealing to the mass market. And, maybe Ant-Man 3 was not, people forgot about Ant-Man because it's been so long. It's, Ant-Man's not Iron Man. You can't just be like, okay, it's Iron Man. Everybody at this point knows who Iron Man is. Iron Man has become a high, top tier character when he wasn't in the comics, prior to the MCU. Ant-Man, and Spider-Man has like been the most popular character that has existed at one point. Like Spider-Man is very popular. Captain America, Thor, some of these. That's why they picked these characters for the original Avengers. Not Spider-Man, but you know what I mean. So when they make an Ant-Man 3 so far away from Ant-Man's 1 and 2, people don't have any context and they don't want to have to do homework to be like, well, I have to watch Ant-Man 1 and Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I have to watch Doctor Strange to know what's going on here, and I have to watch Black Panther. Sometimes it's just too much for, I think, the general viewing audience to, somebody's like, 58-year-old mom isn't gonna want to just go see Ant-Man if they have no context for Ant-Man. So I think there's just a bigger issue in the sequel machine. And, Marvel has its formula that these movies are structured like this, and every movie is structured basically the same. Like they've basically admitted it. I think in interviews, Kevin Feige's talked about different ways that they make Marvel movies. And so each movie has a structure that's pretty much the same. And none of these movies can really stand on their own without the movies surrounding them. Some of them, like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, is basically a stepping stone movie to get you to the other movies that are coming. It's bridging these gaps. So it really is of no consequence of itself. It's not just like the first Ant-Man was like, this is an Ant-Man movie and we're doing an Ant-Man thing and it's fun and whatever. And I still haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, so I don't have a horse in this race. But just based on what I've read and seen, it's not doing so hot. So long story short, I think there's a little superhero fatigue possibly.
Yeah. I mean, you both bring up like some great points, right? I think that, at the beginning of the MCU, it was really easy to see how each film was able to stand on its own individual plot, right? Regardless of how good or how bad the plots were for some of those films. But, at one point when they realized like, wow, we have this integrated universe that we can, tap into, that's when it became interesting, because for the comic fans, it allowed you to expand a universe you already knew and see it on screen and enjoy the story that was being told. I think one of the things that we're suffering with right now is that so much of the passing of the torch relies on these old characters. Like, we had to get through all of WandaVision, which was great, right? I loved WandaVision, but we had to get through all of WandaVision, Multiverse of Madness, and even then we still haven't been told, hey, here's Wiccan and Speed. And so comic book fans that know the origin of those characters are chomping at the bit already to see them introduced, or in a way where we know like, oh, the new Avengers are coming. So a lot of it is speculation. We've kind of gotten the teases. We know that certain films are coming, but it's taking so long to get to a certain point where they get together, introducing certain aspects of the MCU. Imagine how crazy, or remember how crazy we went when at the end of Miss Marvel, we heard the snippet of sound of the X-Men theme song from the 90s, the cartoon, when they mentioned the word mutant, and we like, they're coming, so a lot of it just feels like it's dragging at this point. So I understand why some people are experiencing the superhero fatigue, right? On top of the fact that, like you mentioned earlier, they were just stacking them one after another, one show after another. And that could be why they said, all right, well, let's halt these. Let's not release them. And I wonder if it's a couple of things. One, they are changing the stories now to speed them up, to bring more substance to each one of them, and to add more to the story so that we add more characters. And then the other thing that I think it's suffering from is the Infinity Saga was very central to Earth and things that were happening. And yeah, there was some time travel, there was a little bit of space and stuff like that with Guardians, but the Multiverse Saga opened up the multiverse, right? And at first you were kind of excited. I know that I was. It's like, oh my God, they have like endless stories to tell. But even comic books, in a series have to concentrate on one particular thing. There's so many properties that are spanning off into so many directions right now that it's hard to keep track, like you said, Andrew, of like you have to do your homework of, what do I have to know before I finally watch this film to understand it? And because they don't start the films with last time on the MCU, in the multiverse saga, like they don't have recaps or anything like that. So it does make it difficult if each one is a stepping stone to the bigger stories they want to tell in a couple of years versus just making a really good film at the time that people can enjoy that just happens to expand the story, overall. Because Ant-Man, like you said, I don't know the exact number because I've seen multiple numbers bounce around, but the one that I saw from a couple weeks ago said that in order to break even, it has to make over 700 million. Over 700 million. That's crazy just to break even. I get it, big blockbuster films, but especially with the introduction of the X-Men or the mutants or however they do it, like it's cool if they tell these parallel stories, but they might have to reel it in a little bit for people to become interested again, because it is getting more and more difficult to follow them. And if you're not as inclined to continue reading the comics or follow the stories, and that's the other thing, they do change the stories from the comics to cater to the film world, right? Just so that they fit within the confines of a movie. You're going to begin to lose a lot of people. And I feel like we're already seeing that with the drop-off that we've seen with Ant-Man and honestly, even going back to Thor Love and Thunder. Like, Thor Love and Thunder was funny, but I don't think it made anywhere near what they were expecting it to make. And even that film was heavily criticized for, what it was as a film. So, I mean, maybe it's a good idea that they're going back and they're remaneuvering some of the stuff that they want to put out, but I don't think I'm experiencing superhero fatigue, but I think I understand where that criticism is coming from a lot of people, and I think all of the points that you pointed out, I think really speak to that. So but I'd love to hear what others have to say about this, especially if you're a big comic fan, and of course if you're not a big comic fan, and how you feel it's being balanced out by Marvel and the MCU. If you have any thoughts, we'd love to hear them. Join the community over on Discord. Joining is super simple. Head over to podketeers.com/links. There you will find links to some of our most frequently used links, like the latest podcast episode, a Quizneyland playlist, links to our YouTube channel and the Goofy Guys Adventures YouTube channel, and of course a link to join our Discord. A couple clicks and you'll be a part of the community. Let us know how you feel. We'd love to continue the conversation there. Hey, since I'm talking about the links page, another link that is available there is for the FGP Squad. The FGP Squad, if you are unaware, are a group of listeners that help us out with a monthly contribution via Patreon. We like to call them our podcast Fairy Godparents, but somewhere along the way they became the FGP Squad, and we love it. Being a part of the FGP Squad family gets you some additional perks, like access to additional content on Patreon that we've posted, access to our happy hour calls, random gifts, access to a special section on the Discord, and more. If you have any additional questions about what being a part of the FGP Squad is all about, feel free to send us a message. We'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. But of course, to all of the members of the FGP Squad, we just want to send a huge thank you for your continued support. So continuing with this Bob Iger talk, there was another thing that I found pretty interesting, and we kind of already felt like this was something that might be coming because it was kind of an easy win for Bob, like coming into his role again. But he spoke a little bit about how Disney was too aggressive with the pricing for the parks, and that they're looking into reducing pricing We already saw the announcement several weeks ago where Josh D'Amaro was talking about adding additional days. Like multiple days were going to become available over the course of the next several months during the Disney 100 celebration. We saw certain changes like being able to park hop earlier. This comment by Bob Iger is interesting because part of what he said, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't have the exact quote in front of me, but if I remember correctly, it was somewhere along the lines of they're going to reduce prices, but they found a way to continue being profitable, but they're not going to change park capacity either. And if they don't change park capacity to get more people in, then how are they going to be more profitable by lowering ticket prices? Your thoughts on these comments and kind of like this odd thing of Disney retracting ticket prices, which we haven't really seen in years.
It's an interesting comment. The only thing that's popping up in my head, just for visual mental picture, is my face would be the Justin Timberlake reaction where he's just like, "What, bro? We've known about this, but I don't know how this is gonna happen. But that sounds very lovely. But again, how are you gonna do this when you just yeah, okay. Just okay. All right, Bobby, sure. I have no idea how this is gonna play off. Because yeah, if you lower prices, more people will come. Well then you're right. How will that happen if you don't change capacity? I don't know. Maybe he has a magic wand and it just bippity boppity boo everything and voila. It all is magic. I don't know. I really don't know.
Like, I'm curious to know exactly what the crowds have been like, right? Because I know Larry goes really frequently, and so he's in the park, multiple days a week. Like every time I see video or pictures or something of the park, they look crowded.
Yeah.
It feels like they're already crowded. And I understand that they're not crowded at like 2019 and before levels, because at that point, I think Disney realized the mistake that they made by having so many APs in the park at the same time. The fact that we were able to use the park as just a quick getaway for everything and every day at any time, they realized the mistake that they made, right? So they're trying to correct that from a business standpoint. So like you said, that the point you made is exactly why this whole thing is so confusing, because if they're not going to let more people in the park, where is this money going to come from? But I want to make sure we ask Larry the next time he's on the podcast about how he feels crowd levels have been the days that he's gone to the park.
Yeah, I mean, it is mind-boggling just like how these statements contradict themselves, and maybe they're lowering ticket prices but raising food prices, or reducing portions again to accommodate that, and to make more money based on that, or ticket price is just one of many factors that play into your visit to a Disney park. So there's plenty of other ways that they can get their money out of people. And it is nice to hear that he realizes that the ticket price and the park's price has gotten out of hand. Now, who knows where this magical profits for less money comes from. Hopefully it's not more layoffs or reduced, staffing or whatever, affecting cast members. But you never know at this point. It can be anything. It's, would I love to pay less for my magic key? Yes. Would I love to pay less for a churro and a Coke or whatever? Yeah, I would. Or, they have apparently they have $55 pins now, which I saw once, which I think is ridiculous. And they're not even that big. So yeah, all the prices have gotten out of hand. So yeah, it's a good thing, and they won't say they've reduced prices. They've just made cheaper days available. They didn't actually lower the price of anything. They made a new ticket tier available, that tier 0, which is weird, and made more of those days available. So we're still not going backwards in price. They just stopped raising the prices and made some of the days not those tiers. So it's not like they're like, oh, well, now it's going to be $99 a day or whatever. No. We're still in this price model that's set. It's just what the days crowd-wise they're calling it or whatever. This special promotion for the Disney 100 celebration or what have you, whatever you want to call it. It's still just they raise the prices, but the cheaper tier is more available. So is a good thing, but doesn't affect me personally in the at this point, because I have a magic key, so it's fine for now. I guess I don't have to deal with it. But also, while we're at it, can we just call them annual passes again, and everybody will be happy. Let's just do that while we're at it, because I still am calling it annual pass, except for just right now because I was forcing myself to say magic key because I remembered what they were called this time.
Good job.
Yeah, it's whatever with the naming and stuff, but yeah, I mean, I believe it when I see it, when with this profit and cheaper and whatever happens. So yeah, we'll see. That's all we can really do at this point. I really need to go back and re-listen and see how many times I said we'll see over the past 2 years or whatever. Just see. We'll see.
Enough time.
We'll see. I'll make a hyper cut of just me saying we'll see. It'll be hilarious. And everybody will laugh.
Well, I mean, like I said, you both bring up great points again. The idea of not increasing capacity, honestly, it's a good thing. I think the reservation system, as hated as it is, has helped to balance those levels in a way that, although annoying, I think really has helped people being able to get on attractions a lot more frequently and not having to, wait in crazy lines for stuff like they used to. But there was a couple of things that you mentioned that we've kind of heard already, right? At one point they did talk about reducing portion sizes, which came with a little bit of an insult. So that could be where they make up some of the money. The portion sizes were already small to begin with in certain locations and overly priced. But are we going to get to a point where they're going to start saying okay, you got to count out exactly 10 fries with this burger meal? Right? Nobody wants to see that. So I hope that's not where it is. But at the same time, I would prefer to see that over losing more cast members, right? The struggles that the cast members are already going through right now with all of the layoffs that are happening, and then with some of the challenges that they were having with the unions and trying to get more pay for cast members to get a livable wage. I would much prefer to see an extra $1 or so tacked onto a burger meal or whatever the case is, rather than see a cast member, get laid off or suffer because of these budget cuts. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
like you said, Andrew, the statements contradict themselves in many ways as they're saying them. It sounds great to investors, and on the surface, it sounds really great for park goers, but at what cost? What are we losing? Are they going to raise the price of Genie Plus? Are they going to raise the price of, Lightning Lane? Where are they going to make up for this? Because it's got to be
get rid of Genie
somewhere,
Plus while we're at it,
right? Well, listen. Well, I guess Lightning Lane is really the one that I enjoy more. So yeah, okay, get rid of Genie Plus, whatever.
Well, but here's the thing: have you if you look at any of these the Lightning Lane lines that have been on busy days,
Are
the line is longer than
Yes.
than any fast pass line that has ever existed ever. These lightning lanes, and it's like a 10-to-1 ratio, 10 lightning lanes to 1. If there was no lightning lane, everybody would wait less time. There's been studies on this. I've talked about it before. If there was no fast pass, no lightning lane, everybody would wait less time.
Yeah,
So
but they would make less money
overall. But they weren't making any money on fast pass in the first place. It was just a mental thing. So
That's true.
It's just a like, ooh, I get to skip the line, but then whatever. But yes, just get rid of it all. Anyway, back to your point. You brought it up. You get rid of it.
Yeah. Well, again, I want to toss it out to the listeners in the community and see how everybody feels about these comments and changes. Because like I said, I'm okay with paying a little bit more for a meal here and there if it's going to mean, that 25% of the cast member workforce isn't going to be gone in a week. And I mean, look, we've already seen that there have been some struggles maintaining the park with attractions, with not having enough cast members, and things breaking down, things not being things not looking as Disney as they've looked as we've seen them in the past, right? And so I think we're on the trajectory of getting like better at all of this, like with bringing back Bruce Vaughn, for instance. I think that's a huge change that's going to be impactful within the next couple of years. Like, I don't think we're going to see the impact of him coming back in the next 6 months to a year. I think because of development and, building and all of that stuff, it's probably not until like 2025, 26 where we're going to finally begin to see some of those changes take into effect. But it's worth at least talking about that. It finally feels like Disney's listening. I think that's the best way to cap this conversation, is that after all the complaining and all of the struggles that we've had, from a guest and a consumer standpoint, there are some things that are changing. And if you continue to speak with your wallet, Disney will continue to make changes. Right? Because that's where this change is coming from. People finally got to the point where people were getting priced out, and the experience wasn't as optimal as it was prior to them being priced out. So, yeah, I'd love to hear where the conversations lead us and other people's thoughts on this, because I think everybody experiences this in a different manner. Everybody visits the park at different times of the year. Some people go more often. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how people feel on this particular topic. So join us on Discord. Join the community. Again, like I stated earlier, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Hey, speaking of stuff changing in the park, 2 big changes that happened this last week. Toontown reopened. And we got a surprise new character with the reopening of Toontown. It's Pete the Cat. Was that good, Andrew? Was that good enough?
That sounded pretty good.
All right.
I can't do a Pete to save my life. I can't do a
Neither
Jim
can
Cummings. Yeah, Jim Cummings' voice is not anywhere in the same register as mine, so I can't do any of the Jim Cummings voices, which are a lot, and I wish I could. But yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it.
I feel like I was
better
when my kids were really into watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, because it started off with it's Mickey the Mouse, right? And then from there, I was able to build on top of that. But I haven't done that in so long that I was halfway through doing it when I realized, that was horrible.
I liked it. I say good job.
Me too.
Thank you. So, Pete, at Toontown.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw.
Cool.
It looks very cool. I saw a video. I think it was Disney Dan. He does like the history of the costume characters and stuff like that on YouTube, and he had done one recently on Pete, and there has only been 2 appearances of a costume Pete ever. One was 1 year in a parade at Disneyland, and the other was like in a weird ice capade or a Disney on Ice or something.
Wow.
And those are the only two appearances of a costume Pete ever. They both were very scary looking. So yeah, so this is a very, very good looking Pete costume. He looks fantastic, blends in with the whole gang perfectly. So I think he's very cool. I'm excited to see Pete in person if I ever get the chance.
Yeah, he looks cuddly, which is weird because that's not Pete, but he looks cool. Like, best way to describe it is everybody looks like they belong in Toontown. Like, they have that uniform look. And it's really, really neat. This is where I kind of wish I had a key because I wouldn't mind seeing Pete. He's a cat. It's like,
Yeah.
yay, more cats and stuff.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, and Pete is the oldest Disney character. If you
Yeah.
want to break it down, oldest Disney character that animated character, going all the way back to the Alice comedies. So
Yeah.
Peg Leg Pete, then Pete, and it's and only having this is the first meet and greet you could ever have with Pete. So that's something for the record books, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I love it. He does look great. I mean, I saw a couple of videos, and he does look amazing. I was a little so they had the mayor of Toontown as part of this presentation when they reopened up Toontown, right? And I understand that they want him to be like zany and stuff, but one, why wasn't it like Mickey? Why wasn't Mickey the mayor of Toontown? And two, why did he look like the Mad Hatter?
Yeah, the mayor of Toontown was a human man. So that was very I did not appreciate some weird it's like I don't know how it's like somebody from another country becoming president of the United States or something. Like you gotta be a Toon to be a mayor of Toontown or something. I don't know. I don't know if that sounds bad or not, but
I get it.
like, that's the rules. If you want to be president, you have to be born in the United States or whatever. I think that's the rules. I don't know. Somebody tell me. I'm sure that's the rules. Anyway, it's Toontown. All the residents of Toontown are Toons. You can just tell. You walk in and there's Mickey Mouse and there's Roger Rabbit maybe, and and then there's also this guy, and he's the mayor of Toontown, and he was very fun. But why? How did he become the mayor of Toontown? I want to know. Was there some what election happened where he became the mayor of Toontown? All 8 residents of Toontown voted for him. So I mean, he must be a good mayor if everybody voted for him. But I think Roger Rabbit should have been the mayor of Toontown. I think that would probably go over poorly, but I miss my man. He's never in any of this promotional material. There's always somehow I can bring this back to Roger Rabbit in any
but it's a good
conversation
point.
we're talking about. They're like, okay, here we go. We're bringing Pete back, and we're odd numbers, so because we got Mickey and Minnie, and we have Pluto, and then for some reason his counterpart is Goofy, and then we got Donald and Daisy, and then we're adding Pete, so we got to add Clarabelle because everybody loves Clarabelle. She's great. We got to have Clarabelle. All those movies Clarabelle starred in that were directed by great directors and have a lot of cultural impact and on animation as a whole and filmmaking as a whole. But no Roger the freaking Rabbit. So anyway, that's we get off my little soapbox. Bring Roger Rabbit back to Toontown. Hey, redesign his costume while we're at it. His face is a little dated. Give him a little redesign too. Make him a little better looking. Use Roger Rabbit more. I'm gonna sound like a broken record here, but Roger Rabbit is a great character, and it should be in Toontown more. He has his own ride, so have him in the park, please. Okay, what were we talking about again? The mayor of Toontown?
Yeah.
Is that
Roger
what we were
Rabbit.
talking about? We were talking about Roger. They were talking about the mayor of Toontown. So Pete looks cool. Mayor of Toontown was a human man. There you go. I don't know.
So you brought up a good point. I was thinking about how would they present Pete? And yeah, I thought, oh, you know what, Roger would be good. But I think that would have collided with Mickey, because who would upstage Mickey, right? If Mickey's not presenting. But I would have thought, hey, having him to introduce Pete to the whole gang would be cool. But then again, would Mickey just be standing on the side? No, because it's Mickey's Toontown and stuff. Why didn't Mickey bring him out? I don't know.
Yeah, it is called Mickey's Toontown, right?
Right, right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess
don't know.
it's kind of like KB Homes housing development. It's just a brand, Mickey's Toontown. Mickey's the developer of Toontown.
That's
I
funny.
guess.
Yeah, the whole the way that the whole thing, I don't know. I think if we combined all of our ideas right now, I think a great execution would. And look, this is coming from a place where, like, a decade ago, maybe longer, they used to have Mickey's Toontown Morning Madness, right? They had a whole thing in Toontown, and there was a human deputy mayor that would come out and would have a speech thing for Mickey, who was the mayor of Toontown, right? So in the game, like the online game that they used to have for Toontown, Mickey was the mayor. So to not have him as the mayor of Toontown just seems odd. Now, if they had this celebration and with the reopening, like having somebody zany as the mayor of Toontown, Roger Rabbit would be a perfect fit, because one, you give Roger a purpose in Toontown outside of the attraction. Mickey can stay, because if you notice, Mickey and Minnie are not in their Disney 100 attire in Toontown. They're in their standard attire, like their everyday
Well, except
attire.
Mickey's got like a new outfit. He's got a lounging
Yeah.
around outfit. It's not the Disney 100, but it's like a hoodie.
Well, I mean, when they were doing the presentation, I want to say that he was in the... But like he's gonna be in standard outfit throughout what he's doing in Toontown, right? Like when you visit Mickey, you're still gonna
hoodie.
get the rotation of Mickey there. So putting Roger in that role, like if he came out and he's like, "Hey, welcome to Mickey's Toontown. A long time ago I was the mayor of this fine established town, but now I want to introduce you to the new mayor, Roger Rabbit." I think Mickey doing that would, one, not upstage Mickey, but again, give Roger Rabbit something to do in Toontown. It would be a great meet and greet, to meet Mayor Roger, or Mayor Rabbit, however you want to call him, as part of, one of the meet and greets you could do at Toontown. And it would have just added that additional layer of Toontowniness that it needs, right? Now, not that having a ton of meet and greets is great. I know that one of Disney's ways recently of bringing something new and exciting to the parks is a new meet and greet. That's what they default to for everything now. But in this instance, I just feel it was such a missed opportunity to not do something like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you need a human mayor, who else is who do you? I can't even talk. I'm so excited about this idea. Who's helped out the Toons so much, saved them from getting dipped by Judge Doom? None other than Eddie Valiant. Have Eddie Valiant honorary mayor of Toontown. All the kids would love this old 1940s drunkard to be the mayor, meet and greet with Eddie Valiant in his little short tie with his flask in his pocket. Honorary mayor of Toontown, Eddie Valiant. That's what if you need a human man to be the mayor, get old Eddie Valiant out there. But yeah, that I just had that idea. I thought it'd be funny. I also looked up this video of the opening ceremony, and yeah, Mickey is wearing his hoodie and a weird stripy shirt and Adidas.
Interesting. Is he in
yellow
the
shoes?
outfit that they use for the
Yeah.
walks and stuff like that? His athletic Mickey look?
No, this is like with Toontown, Mickey got a new costume for being like lounging around the house. Minnie's still all like prim and proper with like polka dot dress and everything. Everybody else is in their thing, but Mickey's like, I gotta wear. This life is stressful. I need comfy clothes. I'm wearing a hoodie and my sneakers. So I think it's funny his yellow sneakers have like 2 little stripes on them. Like
It
he's
does.
got 3 stripes, but yeah.
Doesn't this outfit, I think this is the one that resembles the outfit that they used during his birthday celebration when they used that Tony Ferrari song where he was like dancing around the world. You know what I'm talking about?
No, but I'll Google it.
It was the song was called What We Got. It was for Mickey's birthday like 3 or 4 years ago.
It is I see this. It is sort of similar, yes. It's not exactly the same, but it is quite similar. This is it's a black kind of hoodie with just a solid white shirt. With the black hoodie has a yellow lining. I found the video. So it is very similar to that, but Mickey has a kind of like 3-toned hoodie and then like a white stripy shirt and like yellow Adidas.
Good memory.
No, I looked it up. I'm looking it up.
No, but
Heyzen's memory of remembering the song. Yes,
exactly.
No, listen.
I would not have remembered that.
Listen, there's times that my brain functions, and that happens like twice a year. I just used up one on the punch card. So don't expect much more of that to happen.
That's a video from 6 years ago. I didn't even know this video has existed. So look at you go, Heyzen.
You know what it is? That's one of the core memories. I just used up one of my orbs. I think I remembered it because I really liked that song. And when it first came out, I probably watched the video on repeat for like a day and a half. Yeah, I remember him walking up the Great Wall of China like in the middle of the video at some point. So
and he's like walking a dog and stuff. Yeah, I was skipping through it. You know, if Mickey's gets to wear like a hoodie, why can't like Minnie wear like sweatpants or something? Like slippers or whatever. I don't know. Or like I don't know. Everybody should just have like Sunday is casual Sunday and everybody gets to wear sweatpants and all the characters wear sweatpants and pajamas Sunday. Or whatever. Yeah, it's
in the same fashion.
Yeah, we got to do it's laundry day, so we have to, you bust out the whatever clothes so you can get all your laundry
relatable
done. Yeah, so that's I think that's what they should do on Sundays. They wear their lazy lounging around the house clothes.
You heard it here first.
That's totally happening.
Right? We find out before this episode drops.
We see the post on Instagram.
Right?
Starting next Sunday, join Mickey and his pals in their pajamas.
PJ Day. Yeah.
PJ night, the next After Dark event at Disneyland.
Oh. I mean,
they had the
that.
PJs at the end of at the 24-hour, they would have the PJs, but they all are like, everybody's wearing like Victorian PJs. Like, but Mickey had like a big old like
with the long johns and the long like hat thing
and like the long cap, like Scrooge, Ebenezer Scrooge with like a big long nightcap and a candle.
It's so funny.
We just need like Mickey and like some like I don't know, Rick and Morty pajama bottoms or so, whatever you can buy at Target.
That would be so funny.
A shirt with like some holes in it that was, has stains. Oh, this is still okay for a PJ shirt. Yeah. Or like a free shirt Mickey got from going to a work convention that just says like
it's like random software name on there.
Yeah. Uniball ballpoint pens or whatever. Like
they make up a logo that looks like Microsoft. It's like Mousersoft or something.
Yeah, exactly. He got it free at the convention, and his
that's so funny.
Slim Jim sleep pants or something. I'm trying to think of sleep pants. I've seen it in Target before.
It's funny. All right, so another big thing that reopened in the park was Indiana Jones. almost immediately we started seeing people posting some of the changes. Mel, tell us about the reopening of Indiana Jones.
Okay, so before we start, we got to insert like 5 seconds of Raiders March just to build up the anticipation of finally having it open. So just play it. Pretend. Yeah. So.
Oh, wasn't that great? No, just kidding.
Right?
Just leave this part in and don't put it in.
Right. Oh my gosh. It's been forever. Like, we were supposed to get a refurb in 2020. That didn't happen, of course. We all know the story. Yada. Fast forward. We have a brand new reopening. The temple looks beautiful on the inside. I've been hearing from friends who've got to visit recently, and I hope Larry got a chance to see it because, ooh, it's pretty. It's so pretty. So, Temple of the Forbidden Eye. What did they do? They did a lot. Remember how we were talking about the mapping projection and we were seeing some stuff being leaked or whatnot. And so we're seeing pictures come up, videos come up. And what they've done is they've added bright lighting. They've added things, how would I say this? Back to where it used to be, like the spike room. That works again, which is great. Yay, because it hasn't in... I don't know, what is it, 5 years-ish? Plus, maybe. Just saying, it hasn't been recently, so there you go. From the get-go of going inside, you get to see almost everything, like, so clearly. And some of these pictures make me sad I can't see this in person because, I miss this place so much. So it brings me joy to see everything really pretty, really bright. You could see really cool things happening on Mara's face. Yay. And we have an addition to one of the most boring places inside the attraction itself. Thank you, Imagineers. Thank you, because it has been so weird having to just drive through in a Jeep and it is a pitch black room with nothing to offer. You just hear the music, which is all right, but we have a new scene, which is so cool. So in the new scene, I may get some things wrong because I'm going off my memory and I'm tired. So, all right, basically, you know when you're, oh, wait. Back up. See, this is how excited I am. Exactly. Back up a little bit. After the bridge, the snake, we were talking about the snake and how it looked like onyx. It is back. It is repainted. It looks fantastic as yellow and like bronzy red. Yay. Thank you, Imagineers, for that, because you just gave it new life. Something, again, we've been desperately needing for a while. So, yay on that. Then we keep going, and as you go under the bridge, you swerve a little bit to your left, you come around. It's no longer a dark room. And it is now pretty much another part of the temple where you think, hey, this is the way to go through, right? Nope. Mario's like, no. Lasers. That was really bad interpretation of lasers, but there you go. That lightning. Yes, thank you. I am trying my best here. You see that, and suddenly the wall just collapsed in front of you, and you escape, and you go through, and you see the dart room, which looks vibrant as it could be. So it's, to me, I'm so excited because, again, that room was so lifeless. And I actually have a story about that room too. So about 10 years ago, Larry and Rebecca were with me at the time. I've always wanted to break down in the middle of the attraction. Somewhere nice and pretty, right? No, we break down in the dark room with nothing. So, yeah, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. You just in the dark room. They only had a fan. That's another story, which they think you don't see, but you saw it. That's my little side story. I have a picture to prove it. We're all in the dark in a Jeep. I'll send that to you guys. So, yeah, that was fun. But everything else now looks so, so good. I'm just jealous of everyone who could see this because, again, some of us, we've been waiting for this. So, yeah, I think I need to stop rambling. Andrews, go talk.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So it's funny that like some of this stuff, like some of the stuff that they've changed or added is kind of, a lot of people aren't going to notice it, but people like us will. Like just the they've changed the projections again on Mara's face, and especially the when you're in the treasure room where Mara's face is gold, it is like shiny gold. Before it kind of looked a little dull and all this stuff. They've figured out whatever they've done with the projectors and maybe it's just upping the brightness, or they've had a different graphic artist on this. So Mara's looking the shiny gold in those rooms. So that's very cool. The upgraded projectors and projections look great on Mara's face. Also, when Indy is holding back the gates of doom, that there's now a video screen behind that door, as opposed to what before was like some swirling fabric with lights on. Now there's like a video screen, so that is now playing very cool effects. It also just seems like a lot of the timing, and they do this every time. The timing gets tightened up on stuff, with the music when cannons are supposed to go off and lasers are supposed to go off and yada, yada, yada. That stuff will get out of sync with time. But with this first opening, it is back in sync as it should be. And yeah, like you said, the snake, completely different paint job. It actually looks like a different snake. Like the mold looks different. The cowl of the snake, it looks more like a cobra or something, as opposed to whatever it was before, and it is less green and more brown and stuff like that. So it looks great. The lighting is very, very vibrant. It looks like they've switched a lot to more LEDs and more black lighting to make everything really pop. And then that dark room. It's still, I was watching a comparison, and the dark room is still a dark room. Now they do project those lasers on there, and it's for about, or it's like electricity and lasers, whatever, for about
like
3 seconds.
Energy or like lightning.
It's like,
right?
it's like some kind of lightning or whatever you want to call it. It goes like, and it shoots down the part of the dark hallway. And that's great. But you still just break down, like that happens, but you then just stop there in the dark still. And that still happens. And then where the new scene is where the rats were. So it's in the place of the rats, which was also just a effect that just never worked properly, because you had to project onto like smoke or haze, and it was just it was always blowing around because of the AC and the vehicles moving, everything, so you could barely see the effect working. So it is at the end of that long hallway, and they've added some texture with bricks, and there's some columns with like fire bowls and things like that are with some smoke coming out of them, and they've cut into that wall a little bit, so there's a video screen or a projection. I think it's a video screen. I'm not 100% sure.
It looks like it.
It's you know what? No, I think it's a projection screen. Either way, it doesn't really matter. It serves the same purpose of Mara is blasting away a possible route of your escape. Blasts away in the rocks and it crumbles and whatever. And this is right before the dart room, as Melissa said. As I've speculated and asked for before, but it hasn't happened yet. It's unlikely to happen, but I still just want a Sala animatronic in that, he pops out from a door. I'm like, hey, how's it going? What's going on? How are you? Like, he pops out in this dark room and does something. There's got to be something they can do in this dark room, because you just stop there. And I understand the stop. The stop is for timing purposes of that's how they kind of adjust with the unload and loading stuff, is they just built in this weird little stop. But why not put something there? It is still, they've done stuff, but why not like put a weird projection of Mara going like, ha ha ha, something, 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 and then the whole hallway like engulfs in flames for half a second or something, room, and then your Jeep takes off. Like, I don't know. I'm saying like a bunch because I'm spitballing here, but there it seems like this was a great upgrade, and I'm very happy that it is here, and I can't wait to see it in person. But it feels like they're at the 2-yard line, the 1-yard line or something, as a sports ball reference or whatever. They have the equipment and the things to do something very cool in that space where you sit in blackness. And why not just just fill that room with projections and do something very cool for that couple of seconds that really kind of puts you scares you a little bit or something because you're not expecting it. Like, let it go dark and then fill the whole room with projections, or something, and the whole room catches on fire. I don't know. I don't know what that is, but it feels like that's the perfect canvas for just a bunch of projectors. Now, is there just like a bunch of pipes and stuff in there that they can't project on? I don't know. I mean, Melissa's been in the dark room. It's just walls and stuff, right? It's nothing
just
exciting.
Walls.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So it feels like there could be something very cool there. And there could be, I'm sure there's operational reasons and something blah blah blah, I don't know, but it feels so close to being something that could be like very outstanding in that hallway, and it's just you still sit in that darkness. Now, before I turn this into 20 minutes of talking about what could have been, everything else looked great. The boulder's great. Indy's face is moving again. He's swinging around on that rope. The dart room looks great. The all the effects are working. Everything looks great. I am so happy that Indiana Jones is back. Like you had mentioned, Melissa, the Q effects are working again. You pull the bamboo stick and the ceiling collapses and everything. That's back. And the pull the rope and he talks. All the effects they've the skulls are nice and dusted everywhere. So everything's nice and shiny and clean. So yeah, I am very excited for Indiana Jones Temple of Forbidden Eye to have returned. Now, I have not watched any Q videos to see if Salah's full spiel and the newsreels are back. So maybe I'll let Heyzen talk and then I will look that up.
I mean, I think you both hit on pretty much everything that I wanted to hit on. I will say that the projections all the way around, especially when you're entering like the chamber door, like it's still just a single chamber that you're going through. It's still, there's no change there, but the projections look really enhanced. And I can't tell, I've seen enough videos that I know that certain people film with like 4K cameras and they have like really great bright versions of the video that don't look like it would to the human eye when you're on the attraction. But I've also seen a couple of videos that are closer to what I think you would see when you're on the attraction. And even those just look so much better than they did before. Like they're just brighter, there's more detail, everything just looks way more enhanced. It just looks fantastic. The piece that they added with the crumbling portion, I kind of dig that. I like that they added that little. It feels so fast and so quick, but it makes sense in the context of the attraction. So I feel like that's going to be lost really quickly as, oh, that was probably there this whole time, because it fits so well with the attraction. The idea that you tossed out, though, I love that idea of enhancing it by adding a portion where if you're forced to stop and if you have walls, it's the perfect opportunity to use projections. And maybe the reason they don't use the projections is because they can't get the angle just right so that it doesn't look skewed when they're projecting it without projecting like people's shadows or something on the other side. Like maybe that's part of the reason why they're not doing it. But the idea of halting there and then having some kind of sound effect where it looks like the Jeep is breaking down right before you get there. And you hear Mara say something like, your vehicle, like your vehicle is cursed and I have you now. Like you've I don't know, whatever they want to add to that. But then you see like the flames, or you see that same energy burst, and then you see flames, and maybe you see a projection of Mara's face, or like maybe like two big hands, you know, on the sides of the walls, like left and right hand, that look like they're about to grab onto you as the Jeep comes back to life and takes off again. You know, like, the more that I think about it, the more I agree with you that it was just a missed opportunity to do something super special there. Maybe they're waiting for the next anniversary. I don't know. But
that's just in 2 years.
Right? But for me, I remember seeing all these videos, and we even joked about it in our text chain where we're like, oh, wow, look at all these effects are working. And that's the last time they worked for the next 15 years.
Sad but true. You know? Sad.
It's just, indie has such a bad reputation of breaking down all the time and just having these effects go out that, you know, if you have an opportunity to see them, even if it's on YouTube, if you can't make it out to the park, just go watch them because they're so well done. But yeah, I'm psyched. I hope I get a chance to see these sometime soon, before they break down, before they're gone again, you know, for the next 15, 17 years or whatever it is. The snake, it looks so different. It looks so, like, I'm never a big fan of snakes, but, you know, credit where credit is due. It seems like it belongs as part of that now. Like, it doesn't feel out of place like it used to. So yeah, I dig it. I'd love to see more of this type of refurbishment on other attractions. But I think this is a really great start. I agree with you, Andrew. I think it still has a little bit more to go before it's like absolutely, you know, oh dude, that's where they could add the Sala animatronic.
Well, yeah, that's what I want. But that's where the Sala animatronic should be, is in the dark room, right? That's what we're talking about. But I think you know, the ride is a little, you know, I'm the biggest chicken on the planet, and you know, this is my favorite ride, attraction, whatever you want to call it. It's a ride. You ride a thing, whatever. It's my favorite, and I was a big chicken. I was afraid of it when I was a kid and everything. So this ride is a little scary, but it could use kind of like, I think it could use a little bit of a jump scare. And I think that's where that dark hallway would, you know, come into that, because especially if you've been on it before and you stop in that dark hallway, and then, you know, even if you use video screen instead of projection, then you can get away with the shadows and stuff. And, you know, LED video screen can go completely black. So if you go in that dark hallway and it's completely black, and then just all of a sudden something happens and the whole room is engulfed in video of something, whatever it may be, you know, even if it's that, something you didn't mention was you know, we see the ghost Mara,
that's right.
that I think has been redone. It's very, very vibrant. So maybe you even have a couple of those Mara ghosts, you know, go rah, scream through, and then the whole thing. I still wanted the whole thing, just like the room, to just be on fire. I think it would be very cool for half a second.
More fire.
And your Jeep peels out and gets out of there, and then boom, 2 more lasers knocks out that wall that we see there. It would be just very cool, and I don't think it would take too much to accomplish that. I mean, it's only money, right? Josh Tomorrow says they have no shortage of money. So
right. There you go.
Yeah, and also I looked up the video, and they have of the queue, the full Sala spiel is there, but it's just on a loop. So they do not do the Eye on the Globe, are not back. So also bring Eye on the Globe back. It's fun. And everybody likes it.
But listen. If they don't bring back Eye on the Globe, they can add Sala in the dark room, and it could go something like this. You enter the dark room, the Jeep is sputtering, you hear Mara laugh, right? And all of a sudden you start seeing these two hands, or like the ghost Mara appearing, and then you see Sala on the side holding a torch, trying to like hold back Mara as the Jeep
Sala
continues.
has like the Staff of Ra or something.
Yes,
is
something.
Like,
You know what? We did see a robot recently that could maneuver and move. So there you go.
Are we
Why
going to
not
see
take
Sala
that?
on rollerblades and tumbling around in the,
Yes.
in the temple?
Hey,
You know, that would be cool if you had like a animatronic that like rolled it. Just imagine that in an attraction, that an animatronic like goes in front of like and around your vehicle or something while you stay put. That would be something like
that'd be fun.
that would be crazy. So
I mean, technically,
yes.
it's possible if you have
It
the type
is.
of ride system that you have on like Runaway Railway, or some of these
trackless,
newer
which is all
attractions.
floors flat. Yeah.
Yeah. Josh, look, we just threw out a couple of great ideas. Now's the time. Put me in contact with Bruce. We got this, man. We got this.
It's only money.
It's only money. All right. Well, again, we'd love to hear your thoughts on some of these latest additions. Like I said, if you haven't had an opportunity to see the videos of the enhancements that they've made to the Indiana Jones attraction, take a look. And if you have an opportunity to see it in person, let us know what it was like. We'd love to hear your experience and what it was like, especially if you were used to seeing the attraction with everything broken after a day. So yeah, again, join the community over on Discord. We'd love to hear your thoughts. So all right, I think we're getting close to capping off this episode, so I think now is a perfect time for us to jump into great moments with Mr. Andrew to round out this here episode. What do you think, Andrew?
Let's do it. Yeah, this is luckily we're kind of in the same boat as we were last week, a little short one. We've been talk a little bit. I've been rambling, so luckily this one's a little shorter, so we'll just jump right into it. The years this week are 1945 and 1946. A little bit of the same from last week. We're still dealing with World War II, and that shows in the output of the company. In January 1945, Walt steps down as president of Walt Disney Productions, appointing Roy as his successor. On February 3rd, Disney releases The Three Caballeros in the U.S., but is pulled shortly thereafter due to poor reviews. This package film includes the segments Cold-Blooded Penguin, The Flying I can't say it. Say it for me, somebody. Gauchito. I don't know.
You're right.
Flying Gauchito,
got it.
Bahia, and La Piñata.
Good job.
Pinata.
No,
I don't know.
Piñata, you got it.
No, it's not. It's okay. Whatever. I don't know. I doubt myself. It's
Tomato.
okay.
Keep going.
Whatever. Potato. In October, Pinocchio is re-released into theaters. In December, a draft of a then live-action animated hybrid of Alice in Wonderland is submitted. This would go on to become the Alice in Wonderland film we know today. And after returning from his war service as a master sergeant in the Marines, Art Babbitt applied to be rehired to the studio. Walt refused, even though the National Labor Relations Board ordered him to rehire Art. But Walt felt betrayed by Art for being the main leader in the animators' strike. But Art was eventually rehired. This year, the company released 22 shorts and made 21 films for private companies and the government. Birthdays in 1945, we have Tom Selleck. His Disney connection is Meet the Robinsons. I was going to try and guess, but I don't want to pull us back. March 31st, Ed Catmull from Pixar. April 2nd, Linda Hunt, who voiced Grandmother Willow in Pocahontas. July 20th, Harrison Ellenshaw, son of Peter Ellenshaw. Harrison is also a very talented artist, Matt Painter on Star Wars, the original Star Wars film. He was the lead visual effects supervisor on Tron, the original Tron. First person to hold that title ever of visual effects supervisor.
Oh, wow.
July 23rd, Edie McClurg, voice actor. She's been in like a jillion billion things. Wreck-It Ralph, Frozen, many things. July 26th, Helen Mirren. Disney Connections, Monster University, plus other things. August 14th, Steve Martin. Everybody knows him from his stint at the Magic Shop at Disneyland. September 21st, Jerry Bruckheimer, producer, Pirates of the Caribbean, National Treasure, etc., etc. October 19th, John Lithgow. October 30th, Henry Winkler. October 31st, Brian Doyle Murray, who is if you look up Brian Doyle Murray, you have seen him in about 4 jillion things. Grumpy Man. He was in, I know him from Wayne's World, mostly. November 27th, James Avery, Uncle Phil himself. December 1st, Bette Midler, Winifred Sanderson herself. And December 17th, Ernie Hudson, of Ghostbusters fame and other projects. So that brings us to 1946. Art Babbitt didn't last very long for his second stint at Disney, and in January 1946, Art voluntarily leaves the studio. Walt ordered that his name be removed from all credits of all films he had worked on and all other documents. So Walt was a little salty about Art. But just a few months later in April, Frank Thomas returns to the company after completing his military service. One of 9 old men, Frank Thomas. On April 20th, Disney premiered Make Mine Music in New York City. This package film included the shorts The Martins and the Coys, The Casey at Bat, Peter and the Wolf, Johnny Fedora and Alice Bluebonnet, and The Whale Who Wanted to Sing at the Met. Around the same time as that release, the company announces that they have plans to lay off 400 of their 1,000 employees. And just 3 days after that announcement, Disney lays off 450 employees. The Cartoonist Guild manages to bargain for rehiring of 94 cartoonists and 2 weeks severance pay for another 215. At the same time, they also suspend production of all studio projects except Song of the South, Fun and Fancy Free, So Dear to My Heart, and Melody Time. On November 12th, 1946, Disney releases Song of the South to theaters. Its premiere is held at Lowe's Grand Theater in Atlanta, Georgia. It cost $2.125 million to make. The film star James Baskett was unable to attend the movie's premiere due to Atlanta being segregated. So that's no fun. Other notable things that happened in 1946. Walt retires from voicing Mickey Mouse, turning the job over to Jimmy McDonald. Production begins on Alice in Wonderland as a full-length animated feature. Disney hires Salvador Dali to work on the film Destino. 8 months later, the project would be abandoned. The Boy Scouts of America present Walt Disney with the Silver Buffalo Award, their highest award for service to youth. And RKO Radio Pictures loans Disney $1 million, saving the company from insolvency. These few years have been, with the war, have been really hard money-wise for Disney. They were re-releasing, I didn't even write it here. They re-released 3 films in 1946. I think it was Bambi, Fantasia, and something else. I forgot to write it down. Anyway, this year the company released 18 shorts and produced 9 films for private companies and the government. And the birthdays of 1946. January 5th, Diane Keaton. January 19th, Dolly Parton. Ooh. February 2nd, Blake Clark, who is the voice of Slinky Dog in Toy Story. February 21st, we have both Anthony Daniels, C-3PO, and Alan Rickman.
Nice.
March 12th, we have 2 on March 12th. Frank Welker, who is probably the most recognizable living voice actor on the planet at this point. Too many to name. I mean, he's Fred from Scooby-Doo. Look up Frank Welker, and you've heard probably every voice of your childhood is voiced by him. And also Dean Cundy, who is the cinematographer for Who Framed Roger Rabbit. He worked a lot with Robert Zemeckis. Anyway, April 12th, Ed O'Neill from Finding Dory, Modern Family. April 18th, Haley Mills. April 19th, Tim Curry. July 13th, Cheech Marin. July 16th, Dave Goelz of The Muppets fame. July 22nd, Danny Glover. September 30th, Fran Brill, also from the Muppets. October 4th, Susan Sarandon. November 20th, Samuel E. Wright, voice of Sebastian. December 17th, Eugene Levy. And December 18th, Steven Spielberg. So that was just a big list of names, but all 1946 birthdays. So yeah, there you go. There was great moments with me, Mr. Andrew, I guess.
Right on. Yeah, tons of names that, become very, very impactful over the course of Disney history. So, yeah, that last one right there, he went on to make a couple of small independent projects. And,
Steven Spielberg, yeah.
A couple of independent projects that a few people know about. So, his name will come up eventually. Yeah. So.
It's also just funny to think of some of these people all being born in the same year, and I'm like, I didn't realize that all these people were the same age.
Yeah.
Diane Keaton and Anthony Daniels. I think of Anthony Daniels as this very old frail man, and Diane Keaton, as kind of a lively actress or whatever. But they're the same age.
That's funny.
Right.
Well, I think that's a great place to wrap up the episode. Any final thoughts on anything that we talked about before we call this one?
I got a Quizneyland's coming out this week.
Yay.
I've almost finished writing it, so there's going to be some fun questions. So yeah, listen to that. It comes out tomorrow when you're listening to this, if you listen
on launch day. Yeah.
Someday. Launch day. Comes out on Thursdays. Listen to every other Thursday, Quizneyland. It's a lot of fun, and it's short, so listen to it, please. Thank you. Oh, also, while I'm here talking, the episode's already really long. Why not make it longer? I just want to say, all right, folks, if you're out there, share the podcast with your friends. If it would really help us if more people listen to this. We'd really, we want more people to get the news and have fun and talk in the Discord and stuff. So if you got some friends that are thinking about, they need podcasts to listen to, suggest Podketeers, or if you would be so kind as to just share some of our posts onto your social media so some of your friends may know about it or whatever, then have them tell two friends, and then they tell two friends, and then if everybody does that, everybody's listening. So it'd help us out. We really appreciate it. And that's what I'm doing instead of asking for reviews now, because I think everybody that's reviewed or everybody that's going to review has reviewed at this point, unless you're new. Hey, if you're new and you're on iTunes or whatever they call it now, I don't have Apple, or Spotify, hey, give it a little 5-star over there.
Agreed.
So that's it for me. I guess. I like to talk at the end. I like to talk a lot, but my throat is hurting, so I should probably stop.
And go vote on stuff for March Mayhem. We didn't get a chance to talk about it,
Yes.
but go vote. It's getting intense. We're in the second round of this episode. Instagram stories, that's where you're going to find it. You can join us over on Discord again for more information. Podketeers.com/links is where you'll find all of the most popular links that you'll need. That's it. That is going to end the episode. Until next time, keep dreaming, keep moving forward, and always remember to pass on the magic. Have a fantastic week, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.
Part of the Podketeers Network.